Hughes!
Lloyd Williams just slowing it down a little bit, bringing in his pack of forwards. Brad Tyler, the loose head prop tonight. Dimitri Orhip on the tight head side. Interesting to see at scrum time how he gets on against young Peter Dooley on the loose head side for Leinster. Tracy to Tumani. And it's back in the hands of McGrath to Ruddock. Support coming in from both sides, from Dooley and Doris. And now Byrne a little bit flatter to Vardy. And they've got away with that one, Leinster, and they could still profit from it. Offloading game brings them up to within touching distance of the Blues 22. And again, it's excellent from Vardy. Great pace over 5 to 10 metres now. Byrne. And again, there's Cardiff players over it. And they've turned it over inside the opening 7 minutes on 2 occasions already. We saw Byrne go into contact and he was outnumbered 3-1.
2 first men in, Blue on the feet.
Well, Cardiff are continuing in many ways as they did last season with this prolific breakdown play and turnovers. But looking at Scott Fardy, the second bit was just a simple carry, front 5 carrying. The first interplay was absolutely sensational with Peter Dooley. I think Scott Fardy is one of these guys who can create space for so many others to maximise. It goes a little bit uncongratulated in many ways, but I think it's one of his key plays. I know he plays at 6 at times and plays in the second row as well, but he really has the ability to create space for others to maximise. And that was a little tip on there. Great hands and awareness from Dooley. That's where you don't want your out half to be honey-potted in the middle of blue jerseys.
That's where he doesn't want to be either. And Cardiff secure possession. And Christian Dacey has it. 8 caps now for Wales. He made his debut against Ireland, you may recall, in a World Cup warm-up game prior to 2015. Skyward it goes from Lloyd Williams, and Byrne deals well with it. Maloney into contact. McGrath assessing his options. And Byrne's off in chase once more. He couldn't quite collect it.
In line.
Looking at both scrum halves, it's the scrum halves that are already electing in the opening 8-9 minutes to box kick, but Lloyd Williams, his last 3 box kicks, the first one was his left foot and then 2 with his right, so he has that ability, which is a wonderful skill set to have, depending where the breakdown is, etc. It can give your blindside wingers, your open side wingers a great opportunity.
Okay. Time out.
It's Peter Dooley who just requires a little bit of attention. The man from Burr County Offaly.
Yeah, but do you need treatment or not? Okay. Sorry.
I love that. Do you need treatment or not?
Lads.
Let's get on with the game, says Nigel. Seems to be that he's okay.
It's great to have a referee his quality in the first game, because these games can be a little messy, of course, because combinations don't quite fit, line-up doesn't quite work the way it'd like to work, so there is a teething problem. It's great to have the game on a surface of this quality as well. A perfect night for rugby.
Well, certainly you can see the wisdom of playing a game at Donnybrook, as Leinster did pre-season. You heard Leo Cullen say it before the game. They wanted to play on this surface to match it up for tonight, but he wouldn't have anticipated the defeat nor the level of it against Newcastle. 42 points to 17 is a sobering and a chastening defeat for the double winners from last season. Williams feeds, and it's Nick Williams looking to pick it up at the base of that scrum.
Drive not square, Reece.
Owen says not square, it's a penalty.
That's not just the first penalty, in fact it's the third penalty.
Blue said round.
Because the laws of the scrum are altering and changing as the seasons go by, and Nick Williams there puts his massive big left paw right into almost the front row. An unbelievable skill set by the big man to just pluck the ball out. And of course the Owens gave away a penalty anyway, so 3 penalties to 0 so far.
The net result of which is Cardiff up to the Leinster 22.
And then I can reward you, okay? But not when you're illegal going forward.
It's going to be an interesting night at scrum time. And Cardiff not hanging around at line-out time. Quick ball into the centre, into midfield. And it's good hands from Evans, and they're away here, and they're in for the first try. Willis Hallohollo touches down, and Cardiff, inside the opening 11 minutes, are off to a flying start here, and it all came from the set piece. Quick ball, no pause whatsoever at line-out time. The ball came off the top into midfield, taken on by Jared Evans, and then it was a simple offload to Hallohollo, and he's in for his 13th try in Cardiff colours.
I think it was 3 passes off the top down to scrum half, hits midfield, and a simple offload. I thought Nick Williams kind of didn't quite sell it well enough. He got slightly ahead of the ball, but he focused the Leinster defence sufficiently to create that little hole in midfield. And look where the Leinster defenders are ultimately are. They're behind the ball, and it's just a simple, well, I won't say simple, but a powerful run in. But when his side gets a ball off the top and 2 passes and scores, that's a pretty clinical way to score.
No, I'm okay, thanks, Gary. I just had some. Thank you.
Evans' attempt at the conversion doesn't quite have it, but that's a great start from the Blues.
Absolutely, and again, that's the value of having Nick Williams in the middle of the midfield. He's just so big, isn't he? You can't second guess. You got it, and in fact, 2 guys planted to make that hit, and that creates the slightest hole. And the outside defender from Leinster just turns his shoulders in, and all of a sudden, it's punished.
6'3" and 130 kgs or thereabouts. 34 now, the New Zealander, who's been all around the houses, Munster, Aroni, and indeed Ulster. And he's continuing to produce the goods. 22 turnovers, as I mentioned, last season. Evans, and this is what he brings as well. Options to his left-hand side, then he's swallowed up in the tackle. Cardiff need to get the ball back on their side, and it's there indeed for Williams. Nowhere to go that time for Christian Dacey. And up it goes once again from the scrum half, Lloyd Williams. And it's well watched and well taken by Dave Carney on the 10-metre line. Taken on by Doris. Vardy pops one back inside. There's another big hit, this time it's on Rhys Ruddock. Leinster recycle and go again with Byrne. The try scorer Hallohollo with the tackle. No lack of physicality and appetite shown around the contact area by the home side. Bents. And he gets his offload away. That was good from the tight head prop to Ross Maloney, and they're still going up to 5 metres here.
He might feel he was a little unlucky, but his knee did hit the deck in the tackle.
The tackle's complete for me. I felt you were held and brought to ground, okay? Release the ball, get your feet, then you can carry on.
It's really a big decision for Maloney. It's on instinct, isn't it? He felt that he had a slight opportunity. He must feel a little bit, who's this James Ryan guy that turned up? Because Maloney is a fine second row, and he was really motoring along well. It was kind of the Irish setup promoted Ryan ahead of Maloney in many ways, because he was floating along nicely in Leinster, and then Ryan's season, at least some season last year. Here we are seeing it again.
Please, lads.
Knee hits the deck, tackle is good. But that white line is only another 5 metres. You just strange things to players, Connor.
Line out one again by Cardiff, and into midfield it goes this time to Lilo. Williams to Dacey, and there's another line break by Seb Davies, and he's got support on the inside. He's also got a little bit of pace, the second row forward up into the Leinster 22. And over the ball is Jason Harries, and it's recycled, and they've got numbers on this side. Little cross-field kick, will it be collected? It is. There was no offload there, and he's still going for the line, and Owen Lane is in for the second Cardiff try.
I think he was held in the tackle.
Okay. He thought he had the momentum to get there in one movement. Nigel Owens well placed to say that he didn't, and it looked fair in real time.
And the referee assistant nodded immediately when Owens mentioned, listen, nodded in agreement. just Leinster aren't quite controlling the ball. They seem to, in the opening couple of minutes, they had those 9 phases, and they haven't been able to put together phases without introducing an error or a little handing error or just turning over. Now, I think Cardiff are phenomenal at the breakdown, and they're really putting pressure on. Here we'll see it again. Great cover back, good tackle, held in the tackle, and then he went for delay.
Yeah.
No, that's
Well, he was very, very good in the latter part of last season, Owen Lane. His own preference is to play at number 13, but he was very, very effective, prolific at times last season.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick Williams went back, a smash right in there, up through the heart of the break of the maul, and puts Leinster under that bit of pressure.
They're having to work tremendously hard here, Leinster, around the fringes, against a hugely physical Cardiff pack so far. Just past the quarter-hour mark, and a try already to the Blues, who have started very, very well.
On man, play on.
At the second attempt, Byrne did well to gather that. In comes Ruddock, and then McGrath. Leinster need quick ball. Back inside to Maloney it goes. Over the 10-metre line. Byrne. Flat to the line to Rory O'Loughlin. He's held up in the tackle here, and they're working so hard, Cardiff Blues. Leinster having to fight for everything. It's coming back eventually on the Leinster side.
Doesn't have to let it go.
There's a Cardiff hand on it.
Doesn't have to let it go. It's a maul was formed to
It's going to
another
be
ball.
Cardiff ball.
So there's a couple of things involving Connor. I think Dooley loose head prop for for Leinster. The last carry, not from the here. That's great play from Cardiff. Just his body position when if it finishes on the deck is giving Cardiff a slight chance
it's a maul.
to fight for the
So
ball.
doesn't need to let it
He
go.
needs to work really hard
Because
to
he's
get
on the ball, it's fine.
to turn his body and get the
Somebody else
ball
not involved,
much closer to the
totally different.
Leinster support than
Scrum
from the
down,
Cardiff side.
Turnover, blue ball.
We're seeing where Cardiff stand up the ball. That's
over.
great
Give it a
strength,
reaching
isn't it?
on
It's
the feet
phenomenal.
and
Look
then
at
you
the
got it.
Leinster player fighting to try and
It's
get
not
the
a
deck,
problem. There's
which
no ruck, is fine. As long as they're on
a
supporting the
little
body
too late.
weight.
But
Take
very
off the
clever
feet
play.
and
Cardiff
penalise
know
them.
when to put the numbers into the breakdown and when to put the numbers in. As
Touching
soon as
the
they
ground is
smell an
not illegal.
opportunity, they're
Supporting
flooding
the body
the
weight.
breakdown with those numbers, and the same there with the maul. So it's a really,
Drive
really
square.
clever play from the home
Shoulders out,
side.
lads. Happy drills. Let's go, boys. Big scrum. Second. Shoulder. Head still, spine. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Leinster had their troubles at the last scrummage as well. It's very clean ball for Cardiff. Into the backfield it goes. And Carney brings it back, and it's there for Luke McGrath. McGrath wants a little bit of protection in there, and it's provided by Rory O'Loughlin, and up goes the box kick from the Leinster scrum half once more. A little bit too much distance on it this time. And it's comfortable for Jared Evans. Lloyd Williams to Dacey. And they're controlling the game and the tempo. And bossing the breakdown. And this time they've lost it
Rip before,
in the
rip
tackle.
before play.
Fardy trying to get Leinster moving. So too Bent. And that'll work. And they've got numbers now to the left. And Carney's off here, two outside. Chumani gathers it. And they go the full width of the pitch. And this is promising from the visiting side now. It needs to be picked up well, and it was. Difficult one for Keelan Doris to deal with. Nick Williams is over it once more. It needs to come back on the Leinster side. And this time it's illegal from the Blues. Penalty coming.
Yeah, it looked like
No clear release, lads.
it looked like Nick Williams made a great hit on his opposite number 8,
No, not clear enough for me.
and as he gets up, he didn't
Let it go,
disengage
please.
sufficiently. Daylight, whatever you want to call it, kept fighting it. But the way Nick Williams is playing, you wonder, it's an 80-minute game. Is he on the starters' orders to give it the best 40 or 60? But he's been really, really impressive so far.
Well, he keeps turning in these huge performances. 2008 he was down in Munster. And then he went to Italy, and he was 4 years up in Ulster.
He won the Europa Players Player of the Year from up there. Phenomenal achievement considering the talent throughout the 4 provinces.
How are we looking, boys? Okay.
As Liam was saying, Ross Byrne around about the 70% in terms of the kicking stats last season. Jared Evans, who's already slotted 1 and missed a conversion, almost 85. 51 good from a possible 72 for the man reaching half a century of caps tonight. And he slots that one over no problems, and 21 minutes in, just past the halfway mark in the first half, Leinster have their first points of the new season, courtesy of Ross Byrne.
It was a nice counter-attack from Dave Carney as well, who probably set up that opportunity to get a bit of momentum. And Leinster haven't been holding the ball, haven't been managing it over a period of phases. Luke McGrath, superb player that he is elected to go into the air an awful lot.
Just to confirm, Barry Daly has had to go off and Fergus McFadden has come in for Leinster. We saw Barry Daly just receiving some treatment down on the running track a few moments ago, and he's not able to continue. And Cardiff have won that high ball. Leinster miss it in the air, and now Williams, Dacey, and they're moving it quickly through the hands, and they've got options.
Backwards.
It's gone back off the hand of Owen Lane. Williams again.
Ripped before.
And that's been ripped by the Leinster captain, Rhys Ruddock. 1 for Byrne to chase, Lane covering. And so too Matthew Morgan.
Advantage, control lost.
And Leinster have it once more where their captain, he didn't really have an option.
Back. Advantage, offside, side entry.
Cardiff offside now as Ross Maloney carries it deep into Cardiff Blues 22. It's there for McGrath. Now what can they manufacture? It's a free play. Byrne gets it away to Rory O'Loughlin. Picked up by Dooley. And there is McFadden. And McFadden will endeavour to go all the way to the line. He needs support to arrive quickly. They can't quite get him into touch, and Leinster will look to recycle here. Keelan Doris over the ball.
Still advantage from back there.
Josh Murphy beside him. Still the advantage being played by Nigel Owens. And they're very, very close here. Can they bar their way over? Ruddock, that was a really good pickup. Back we go for the penalty. No advantage coming. Leinster very, very close to getting themselves right back on level terms.
Number 8 and number 7. Side entry.
Adam Byrne did exceptionally well down the tram tracks, but the first Leinster player to pop up was Scott Fardy. Cardiff handled it pretty poorly. You haven't seen that in a while, where Matthew Morgan, I think it was, came across to collect the ball, and as he fresh aired his attempted kick, and Scott Fardy was there.
Do you know how many offences have been? 2. Just 2. Yeah. You know how many offences you've given? 4. Okay, let me deal with it, please, Liz. Thank you very much.
Get back in your box there for another while.
You better make sure if you're counting you get your numbers right.
And we're not talking blatant offences here. We're talking tight calls, okay? Not willful, deliberate offences, okay? Space, please. Space.
Great little rip here from Rhys.
Watch your front, Gwyn, okay?
So Leinster line out ball. It's here for Vardy. And now Byrne. Not quite going to plan, but can they still profit from it? Rhys Ruddock. Nick Williams missed his tackle there. He lined up his man, but didn't quite make the hit.
Tackle made, side by side. Play on.
The Leinster first receiver is taking extremely flat from a standing start. A relatively easy target for Cardiff.
Again, it's a little bit loose and sloppy at the base of the ruck. It was picked up quickly by James Tracy, and now they move it to Bent, and he's hammered in the tackle by Nick Williams. Gets to ground, and it's better ball placement this time. Rhys Ruddock, the captain, is over it. Keelan Doris to his right. The captain takes responsibility himself. Half a dozen phases. Can Leinster make it count here? Fardy over it, leaves it for McGrath, goes back to the blind side. Now Byrne, little grubber kick in through behind. The chase is on. And it's dotted down pretty well in the end by the covering Jason Harries.
I'm just wondering, is that a team tactic to have the
Can you
first
touch
receiver,
that,
the forward, to take it so flat from a standing start? Are they trying to create something? Maybe there's an
Wasn't
element of
touched by
fatigue in it,
Bruno.
or maybe it's a team tactic.
Nobody touched it, I don't think.
Because the ball is relatively slow coming back, Cardiff, even close and all as they are to their line, were able to come up quite quickly, which pushed pressure on that decision
Yeah, I didn't think he did.
for Ross Byrne.
And Dave Carney. That's Dimitri Arhip, the tight head prop from Moldova, over it. And here's Keelan Doris.
Tackle, move!
Byrne again, Tamani, quick hands, Rory O'Loughlin, Byrne on the outside, the little chip kick through. It's all the points for Adam Byrne, and he just ran out of pitch.
If we could see that again, you'd spot Scott Fardy, the line he ran from out in midfield, just a nice, lazy, relatively quick line in. It just catches the eye of the Cardiff defenders for a moment. The ball's put behind them, and all of a sudden there's a little bit of space. I think he's brilliant at that stuff.
Step off the AR then,
See
please.
him coming in there on the monitor?
Stay in the
that
middle,
kind
please.
of stuff, he's absolutely phenomenal. Reading the opportunity to create indecision for the defenders, whether he gets the ball or not.
Well, Leinster are very close here. Nigel Owens has come across to have a look.
Okay, Gwyndiach. Yeah, I need to check that, boys.
Yeah, we'll check that, but Leinster feel, for all the money in the world, that they've got themselves back on parity here with their
Gwen?
first try of the evening.
Perhaps miss.
Sorry, miss, sorry. Try yes or no, please.
Okay, well, we'll have a look at it now.
John Mason is the television match official tonight.
It was great knowledge of geography anyway, to realise how close he was to the line.
Yeah.
To know his arms were the exact length required. That's okay.
Yep. These sound effects, by the way, are in the stadium of the Lloyd.
Look at the first shot
in the
again.
background.
Go nice and slow, you Nige, right?
He's not lost that forward.
He's short there.
Miss.
Yeah.
Can I give you some information?
Yep, carry on.
I think he's always in control of the ball because he's got his hands over the ball, so he doesn't lose control of it. You need to tell me if that ball touches the line. If it does touch the line, then I'm happy to award a try because he doesn't look like he never loses control of the ball. Let's go back, please. If I need to speak to you, I'll call you and I'll explain to you. Go back, please.
Well, in that case, he's going to award the try because it does eventually touch the line, and provided he's not lost it forward and is in control of it and there's downward pressure, it's a try.
We got another angle, Nige, bear with us.
Looks like a try to me, Mason, unless you got
Bear with
anything.
us, hang on.
Well, that most recent angle from the touchline
He's always in control.
not really helpful.
So if
This is the one we
touches
need.
the line, it's a try. There.
Never lost control for me, Nige, that's a try.
Thank you. Try is good. Never loses control of the ball, and the ball touches the line.
So Leinster have their first try of the evening, and it's 8 points apiece at the Arms Park. And James Tracy receives the plaudits.
The fact he stayed in control of the ball is what's really impressive. He landed on his back, he rotated over and he extended out and he pushed it. But so many times you see a player just trying to get to the line and fumbling it or essentially losing control of the ball, and he did really, really well to stay in knowledge where the line was and the opportunity, and not rush it and stay in control.
Byrne's conversion attempt comes back off the upright, so it remains 8 points apiece. James Tracy scored his try against Cardiff last year when Leinster were very comfortable winners indeed, 37 points to 9. It has not been a comfortable opening 27 minutes by any stretch of the imagination for the double winners. Very, very even contest as Jared Evans gets us back underway.
Advantage.
It's gone forward off the hand of Ross Maloney. Williams. Casey hit hard in the tackle. There for Lloyd Williams once again. A very solid challenge from Fergus McFadden in off his wing. Here's Arhip, loses it in the contact.
Advantage over from the knock-on by Greenery.
Hit coming in that time from Rhys Ruddock. Tracy, the try scorer.
Stay out. Luke Hughes, please.
It's there for the Leinster scrum half. He just wants a little bit of protection there as he gets his kick away.
Advantage over.
And lots to ponder for both coaches. I'm sure John Mulvihill will be
Keep a space in me,
very
please.
impressed with what he's seen from his side's efforts so far. As I mentioned, they lost both of their pre-season games.
Go, lads, please. You come to the line.
One
let
here
me carry
to
on.
Leicester, who
Space, please.
kicked a penalty goal in the
If
last
you're
minute
injured,
of the
then
game
go
from
down where
distance
you
to
are
win it by
injured. Don't come
17
to the
points
line
to
and then go
15.
down.
And they went down to Exeter and were heavily beaten by a very, very strong Exeter team who did very well in pre-season. Far too much air on that one, and Tracy picks it up. Doris is in there to support. And he got his pass away. It was a little ambitious out of the tackle towards Dooley, and Leinster have knocked it on.
I think they're worth trying though. Connor's easy for me to say sitting here, but great little feat from the Leinster number 8. Just gets that yard and a half, and I think the idea is right, go for it.
Okay, time out, lads,
And
please.
over the course of the opening part of the season, those will go to hand.
Please, can I have a word with you, please, a minute?
Ciaran
Ellis,
Doris was
can I have a word,
excellent
please?
while captaining Ireland on Ireland under-20s duty at the World Cup in France.
I appreciate what your roles are as captain, okay? But when I'm giving decisions and when I'm talking with my TMO, I don't want you coming up and asking things. I will explain exactly if I'm making the decision and explain to you exactly what I'm doing. So we need to cut out the walking after me and asking questions, okay? Yeah. Is that fair enough? Both of you. Thank you.
Yeah, both captains privy to that from Nigel Owens. I think it was directed more towards Ellis Jenkins, who was querying the decision
Okay.
while the TMO replays were running just a few moments ago.
Lost on, lads.
Ellis Jenkins, who wears the armband, he's taking over really from Gethin Jenkins. He's also playing in the role of Sam Warburton, of course, at number 7 for Cardiff. So
Okay, last
We
one was
expect
good.
him out at
Say what
half
you said,
time
please,
to
that's right.
show his appreciation, and for the crowd to show their appreciation. What a phenomenal
us
career he
space.
has had that's ended early with injury.
yeah. Time one, I call the crouch.
Forced to call time on his career at just 29, the 74 times capped Wales captain his country
Crouch.
49 times, and of course the British and Irish Lions.
Bind. Set.
Williams feeds that Cardiff scrum, and it's picked up by the other Williams, Nick, on the one-handed offload, and the little show and go and stabbed through for Owen Lane to try and chase. Difficult one for him to gather, and it's lost on the floor, and it's picked up by Keelan Doris, who's got through a par of work in 31 minutes, and now Leinster are off in chase again. It's 3 against 2, and it's on the bounce, and Dave Carney made up good ground, gets himself over the ball,
No problem, play on, not a problem.
but Cardiff have it.
Fell over
Eventually,
and nobody
Rory
there.
O'Loughlin trying to snare Dacey before he can get away from the tackle area. Up it goes again from Williams. And Ross Byrne running into Seb Davies that time. Luke McGrath, Rhys Ruddock now. Strong handoff, and he's still going, the Leinster captain, up to the 10-metre line. And it's there for the Leinster scrum half. And what can they manage here? Ball's gone to ground. The referee happy to let play
Advantage over from the
continue, and
knock-on
Ross Byrne's
by
done
Drew.
well to ride a couple of challenges. Couldn't quite get his hands free for the offload. There's Cardiff players coming through. I think
Never
it's
on your
Nick
feet.
Williams again. Penalty coming to Leinster right in front of the post.
Never on your feet.
And we're beginning to even out that penalty count, but that's because there's more and more pressure coming from the visiting team.
Yeah, I think Ross Byrne did exceptionally well. He just read the speed of the breakdown, didn't he? And he pushed himself into a very flat position and gave him a chance to, because the Cardiff defenders hadn't got back online and weren't as organised, and he maximised the opportunity with a relatively quick ball, which hasn't been happening so far so easily. I think there's a lot of fatigue in that play from Cardiff, going for a ball that maybe in the opening 5 minutes they wouldn't have gone for. And I suspected that some of their efforts in the opening quarter was going to show in towards the end of the game, obviously. But Ross Byrne did very well to tack the line, and that opportunity he had.
Yeah, you can hit as many tackle bags as you want in training, play your pre-season friendlies, but when it comes to the real thing,
it's where he is,
that fatigue you're talking about, of course, is just match sharpness and getting up to the speed of the game after the 8 weeks of pre-season.
Yeah, you look at Australia, started making mistakes, and those mistakes clear.
Win away if you do. Right, if you're happy to take here, and I'm happy, we'll wait, okay? Because he's pretty much where we're taking him. Just in case it comes back off the post or something, and then.
Well, they're well stocked in key positions this season, Cardiff. Particularly at number 10, Jared Evans starting tonight. No sign yet of Gareth Anscombe. It was a real duel between these two last season for that number 10 jersey. Gareth Anscombe losing out and playing most of his rugby in the latter part of the season in the number 15 role. Matthew Morgan is there tonight. And of course they've got the reliable Steve Shingler on the bench to call upon at times also.
Okay, time on. Okay, good to go when you're ready.
I mentioned also Samu Manoa, who you'd have to wager would be a very, very big influence, albeit he's got plenty of miles on the clock. Fergus McFadden steps up and kicks Leinster into the lead on 33 minutes for the first time in the game. Ross Byrne still being attended to. It's one of the conundrums around Leinster as well. Of course, Joey Carberry gone down to Munster. They can't afford any injuries in the halfbacks. They're already without Nick McCarthy, who ordinarily you fancy would have been on the bench tonight, but he picked up a wrist injury last week. Now we're told it's only going to be 3 or 4 weeks, but it means that Jamison Gibson Park has to be on the bench, and because of the international players rule, it means we can't see James Lowe tonight. Carl Marsh is no longer at the club. It's Noel Reid who would provide the cover in that 10 position tonight. Here come Cardiff, and they could be in again, and they look certain to be in.
That could be penalty try. That was attacked before the ball.
Tackle without the ball. They do have numbers out to this left-hand side. Nigel Owens has his arm stretched out.
And whether he thinks it's a penalty try remains to be seen, but if that ball went to hand.
The Leinster were cut open again. Cardiff were in for a certain try.
Time out.
Well, the TMO may well be called in here again, surely.
And of course, a penalty try, if it is, comes with a card of some colour.
Time out. I was held back originally. Yeah.
Scott Vardy saying he was held back initially.
I caught my eye, I saw a nudge by him.
Number 8 took number 5 over there, then there was a takeout off the ball from the other side there. First offence for me was that.
Yes. Miss? Tell you what we have, okay? Just the corner of my eye, the touch just confirms it. I see just enough of a pull by him to delay the number 5's line, so that's an obstruction. And then we have a takeout here. I'm going to go to what the first offence was against number 5 without the ball over there, okay? Yeah.
You get away with nothing, Connor.
No.
Well, there's the first offence is here.
I have to say,
No,
I didn't see the first one. The second one was absolutely clear cut, but they've got away with one there. It was Nick Williams on Scott Vardy is the
first
decision.
Offence. That's the second offence.
You get away with nothing because Nigel Owens misses next to nothing, and even if he does, he's got John Mason upstairs.
But that cheap penalty from Nick Williams, it's unlikely he would have given that away in the opening 10 minutes. So these are little indicators. Remember, it's 3-0 in penalties that Leinster conceded. Now it's 6-3, double penalties.
Don't do silly things and put yourself in that situation.
Okay, so there's the initial infringement. Is that soft?
Yeah, that's a silly penalty to give away.
Now McFadden. Ball lost in the tackle. And it's Cardiff turnover. 11 points to 8, 5 minutes to half time. Can the Blues get a score? They'll feel there may be a certain sense of poetic justice if they can go the length of the pitch here and get 5 or 7. There's been a lot of little mistakes in the game. You expect that first time out. Slow ball coming back. Leinster infringing. Arm outstretched from the official.
I think as Rhys Ruddock landed on his back post tackle. A bit unfortunate.
A little chip through into midfield on the bounce. It flummoxes everyone except Dacey, and he's got it away. Great hands. Opportunity again here now for Turnbull, and he gets away from the first challenge.
Stay out!
Williams to Dacey again.
Move! Ball out.
There for the Cardiff scrum half. He had to improvise, but he did so to good effect, and taken up by Jared Evans. Tackled by Maloney. What can they manufacture here? They'll have to go a little bit deeper or keep ball in hand, and that's a really good surging run that time by Rory Thornton. Off the deck to Williams. And now the midfield combination. Oh, foot in touch. Well, that would have been very, very nice indeed from Cardiff. Twinkle toes down the touchline, almost between inside and outside centre, and that's the partnership that they had, that almost intuitive, instinctive play.
Yeah, but Lilo's instinct was to power forward, but also to take the ball infield as far as he could, which was essentially only a couple of feet, but he gave enough space for the man outside him to carry. Just unfortunately he was in touch. Lovely bit of interplay.
Good take from Maloney. Hoisted high again by Luke McGrath. Burn off in chase.
Knock on blue, option.
Not forward.
Play on, okay then, quick line now taken.
It has been scrappy, it's been
Knocked
taken
on.
quickly here.
Stay out.
Seb Davies has his hands on it. It's there for Lloyd Williams, and they've got numbers again to the right hand side. Leinster being caught a little bit narrow, and it's on the wide outside for Harries for the line. And Cardiff are in for their second try of the evening.
You take the quick line out, you take away the option.
Well, it goes all the way back to Leinster's haste at line-out time, but it went the full width of the pitch, and it's been touched down by the man who in pre-season has been in scintillating form, Jason Harries. He's come in from Edinburgh, and he's got his first try in Cardiff colours.
I'd like to see the pass that he received. Looks a little bit forward, doesn't it? My instinct in real play was it looked a little bit forward, but look where I was trying to see where a referee was, but it looks just can't see from that angle. The first angle we saw on the monitor looked a little bit, but considering where the pink jerseys were, lilac jerseys should I say, both referee and assistant were in line, but
pulling Scott Fardy off the ball here.
But it's some punishment.
When he does that and takes away the option of getting back in defence, then that's the first offence. Just a simple answer, don't do it.
Difficult angle, huge distance. Well, that's a really, really good kick. Brilliantly done from Jared Evans. And Cardiff have their noses back in front once more.
Considering it's the first game, here's the quick throw. Scott Fardy threw. What was he thinking? Oh my God!
There's a minute left.
Like Luke McGrath at halftime, I'd love to hear what he's going to say to Scott Fardy. What was he thinking? But here's the pass coming up now. This one, that looks forward to me. Now it looks forward partially because there's a great hit from McFadden, which means the passer of the ball stopped and the ball itself went forward. So maybe that's the saving grace in the pass.
There's been a catalogue of errors from both teams at times, and in between times there's been some decent rugby play. Good finish from Harries. It was Luke McGrath who made up all that ground to try and get back across to make the try-saving tackle, which he was never going to be able to do, having covered all of 40 metres. Simple enough finish for a man of Harry's size and his finishing ability. Played a lot of sevens rugby over the years. Only back into the 15 game in the last couple of seasons. Up it goes again from Luke McGrath. Adam Byrne under it, and he collects and gets his pass away to a scrum half. There's a Cardiff hand on it again. You can hear Luke McGrath appealing to Nigel Owens, and the hand is still there.
And taking the option of a clear
until
out.
the penalty has been taken.
And that's a bit of a coach killer there. There was only about 15 seconds left when Lloyd Williams kicked that away. They could have played an extra phase, you know, to go in at half time. They maybe still go in at half time 15-11, but you know, you can control that.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more with Burton. That's your game management. That's how you see, knowing the scoreboard, knowing the clock, knowing where you are on the field. Just kill the 10 seconds, get in half time. You've given Leinster now an opportunity, and that man again, Nick Williams, again.
Okay, so I cannot reward you then.
It's in their DNA. Nick Williams and Ellis Jenkins to go for every breakdown, but that time Nick Williams clearly off his feet, which allowed Ellis Jenkins to go for the ball.
So fit again, Ross Byrne will take this one. Fergus McFadden having given Leinster the lead. So it's about 40 metres out with the angle. Still quiet night here at the Arms Park. It's a well struck penalty
kick
again from Ross Byrne to bring Leinster back within a point of the Cardiff Blues. What a great entertaining opening 40 minutes to the new season. Cardiff Blues will go into the shed at half time with that solitary 1 point advantage. Cardiff Blues 15, Leinster 14.
Can you hear anybody?
No, not yet.
Just miking him up now, Cardiff.
Cool, I'm hooked up now.
One?
Yeah, brilliant. Can I just leave that there? Thanks.
That was the original one, not the number 6 one, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's changed.
Is it not?
It's fine.
Are you hearing anything now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Griff, all right? Yeah. Oh, really? Who got who? Okay. Yep. 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 It's with the promos, that's an out of vision read, is it? Yep. Lilo Tracy, Jason Harris, turnovers. Yep. Who got the kicks in the Ospreys? Luke Price, presumably.
Have we got Blaine standing by?
Our partners, Guinness, Rugby, Sport Pizza and National Police Coach Broadcast the Premier Sport. Sport Pizza is for our PRO14.
So an intriguingly poised game here at the Arms Park. Over in Swansea at the Liberty, not quite such an exciting game. 3-3 at half-time there. A penalty apiece between the Ospreys and Edinburgh. Hopefully that one will spark to life in the second half. Over here though at the Cardiff Arms Park, it's a slightly more entertaining encounter. Jason Harris going over as he did on the stroke of half-time there, just nudging the Blues into the lead, and probably just about deserving of that lead, I'd say, as things stand. Sam, would you go along with that?
I think so, yeah. I thought the Blues looked pretty good from a defensive point of view first 20. It looked like Leinster were just getting back into the game, and they narrowed up their attack a bit. They were going a little bit more around the ruck because they probably don't want to play against the Blues blitz defence. That's a really good momentum swing back in the Blues' favour now that Jason Harris has just got over for a well-worked try.
Absolutely, it was a perfect start for the Blues. Ray Lilo showing exactly what he can do with his footwork, but it was real intent, wasn't it, from first phase possession to throw the ball wide early, which is exactly what you said John Melville wanted to do.
It kind of sums up the Blues, that try. It was a turnover which gave us that attacking position, which is what the Blues are great at, and then the first attacking line out of the game, the Blues were quite bold. They didn't go with the conservative start to play, they sort of went quite wide and ended up getting a try. So where Jared Evans is great, if he has players running off him and he takes it to the line, it's so hard to defend, and you can see the Leinster defence comes up pretty quick and then they just get stunted. There's so many players who could be an option, could realistically take that ball. So a very well worked try, and kind of shows the ethos the Blues want to play with.
Absolutely exciting to watch this Blues side at the moment. Plenty of hot steppers and runners in that back line. But Leinster, although they've come here with a kind of weakened side, a young side, they got themselves right back in it. Missed quite a few opportunities before eventually they got over the line, courtesy of James Tracy.
They've hung in there, and for a young team to come to the Arms Park, which is they're playing as a strong first hit-out Blues team, you know, they're doing well. They're doing really well, and they're trying. This is a training ground move for the Blues, which they would have practiced a load of times. Maybe it was a bit of steady from James Tracy from last season, but he read that very well and a well-taken try. So the good part from the Blues is that that's an easy fix. You know, it was kind of a gifted try for Leinster. They didn't work for it like the Blues have. They haven't gone through phases to get that try, but it was probably good homework from Leinster.
And Jason Harris, you mentioned it already, it was the perfect time to score because the Blues had fallen behind, perhaps against the run of play, and for him to go over in the corner, showing his strength, showing why the Blues have signed him, almost a like-for-like replacement for Alex Cuthbert.
He is very similar, you know, and they both come from the Sevens background. When you see him there, 5 metres out from the line, he's going to be very difficult to stop, so that completely changes your team talk going into half-time. Now, the Blues boys feel quite happy, and now you've got 40 minutes to see a game out.
Yeah, cracking finish from Jason Harris, and perhaps unsurprisingly, Sam, when you were poring over some of the detail of that first half, you focused in on the breakdown area, and you were just making the point that the Blues are so ferocious there, committing a tackler and a second man, that Leinster are having to flood it and therefore leaving holes in the defensive line.
Yeah, it's a very common theme with the Blues last year. Anyone who's watched the Blues a lot of times know they've got so many guys who are great on the floor, and they did it straight away, hit the ground running with 2 turnovers in the first 10 minutes from Ellis Jenkins and Nick Williams, and it just really messes up the attack. So what happens when you have a guy who comes in like Ellis Jenkins this occasion, when he's back on his feet, you've got Ellis competing, it just makes Leinster have to commit 3-4 players every time you have a ruck, so it's killing Leinster's attack. So effectively then, Leinster for the next phase of play have 11 guys on their feet, where the Blues have a tackler, 1 guy competes, they've still got 13 guys on their feet. So mathematically, if you keep putting in that guy to compete, you're going to end up numbers on top, and the Blues were good at that the first 20. They were pretty much competing every single breakdown, and eventually the attack will run out of numbers as long as the Blues keep their discipline. So it was a theme they did last year, they've continued with it this year, and they're getting some, well, first 20 minutes particularly, they got a lot of reward from that.
It certainly did. It is intriguingly poised here. 1 point in this game at the Arms Park. Other games going on tonight, as we know, the Ospreys currently 3-3 with Edinburgh, and then tomorrow we've got 4 games for you. Connacht against Glasgow, Ulster against the Scarlets, Munster versus the Cheetahs, and to wrap up the first weekend of this season's PRO14 action, the Dragons against Benetton. So there's the Blues dressing room. I would imagine John Melville is reasonably satisfied with what's gone on in that first half. Just nosed themselves back in front at the death, and Leo Cullen there addressing his charges. A fairly young side, as we've discussed, and they are very much in this game. So the second half is coming up shortly here on Premier Sports. Join us after the break. So the second half about to get underway here at the Arms Park. In the last few minutes, Sam Warburton has been paraded in front of the Cardiff Arms Park faithful here. Everyone rising to their feet to acknowledge the career of a Cardiff Blues legend. And on the big screen now, some of his colleagues, some of his former opponents, including Geraint Thomas, the Tour de France winner, all paying tribute to Sam Warburton as he receives his gift now from the Blues chairman, Peter Thomas. And as he's doing so, the Blues are emerging from the tunnel. Leinster already on the pitch, so we can rejoin our commentary team for the second half of this intriguingly poised encounter. Let's rejoin Bernard Jackman, Martin Williams and Wyn Griffin.
So the teams back out onto the field of play and all to play for in the second 40 minutes. Just to remind ourselves, the Cardiff Blues lead Leinster, the PRO14 champions and European Champions Cup holders of last season, 15-14, just the 1 point in it. And that penalty right at the end of the first half, Martin, that brought it a little closer, didn't it? Too close for comfort.
Yeah, for an opening game of the season, it's been a superb first 40 minutes. Let's hope, I'm pretty sure that both coaches will go to the benches quite early on, being the first hit up. But really finely poised second half for us.
Nigel Owens checks his watch, and Ross Byrne will get the second half underway. He kicks long and deep into the Cardiff Blues 22. The opening try scorer Ray Lilo takes it and sets it up. Pillars are there on either side. Dacey, the hooker, we saw quite a bit of him in the opening 40 minutes, carrying up to the defensive wall of Leinster.
Yeah, nice calm exit there. Good catch from the kick off. Play one phase in field, open up the angle, and a good touch finder from Lloyd Williams to settle back into the start of the second half.
I spent some time with the Wales 7 squad toward the end of last season and appeared at the Rugby World Cup Sounds in San Francisco. Needed a fresh challenge, is what Williams is saying. Gets the nod this evening ahead of young Thomas Williams. Down by Fardy. Ball tucked under the arm of Tracy. James Tracy, the hooker, scored Leinster's try in the opening half. McFadden, the replacement. But the Blues are hungry.
I tell you what, that's an absolutely superb turnover from Ellis Jenkins. You know, they've read the play well, Blues defensively. I think it was Halaholo Lilo that time with a hit, but Ellis Jenkins and all that traffic managed to get over the ball early, and not only gets over it early but has the strength and the bravery to stay there as well. A brilliant turnover. Yeah, psychological blow as well. Leinster go for the maul, Cardiff would hold that, and then from the next phase Ellis Jenkins wins a penalty.
Textbook stuff there from the Cardiff Blues captain at the breakdown. He's as hungry as a butcher's dog. Yes,
good read by Halaholo, again makes the big hit, but look at 3 or 4 bodies flying into Ellis Jenkins, can't move him off the ball, and puts the Blues into a great attacking position.
When you consider that the Blues have Josh Navidi to come back, Samu Manoa recently back from Toulon, it'll be a couple of weeks perhaps before he's up to speed. Ball spilt by the Blues, and a chance for Leinster here through Rory O'Loughlin. Cuts back inside, and on he goes over the 10-metre line. Neat offload.
I got it.
Leinster couldn't quite get the ball away, but it's captain Rhys Ruddock. Byrne misses out. Tracy finds Peter Dooley, the loose head prop. Hands out from Michael Bent.
Release!
Momentum would appear to have been lost. McFadden comes in off the flank. Tracy again bowled over by Ellis Jenkins. Tamani finding Adam Byrne. One cap off the bench against Argentina for the Leinster right wing. It's a powerful drive.
Move, release!
Yeah, you've just seen glimpses of Keelan Doris, haven't you? He looks very explosive, why he's so highly thought of over in Dublin.
The ball stripped from Tamani. There he is again, making his Pro 14 debut.
He's had it stripped again.
Nudged forward. So really Cardiff Blues scrum.
From the side, not behind.
Good solid defending from the Blues at the top of the second half.
Yeah, it was, because they were under pressure then. Great counter-attack from Leinster. O'Loughlin made a great break out of his own 22, but they scrambled well and reorganised well.
He was in front of the offside
And after
line.
that, they've gone through 10, 12 phases there, Leinster, and just couldn't get over the gain line.
Yeah, I think in phase defence, Cardiff Blues have been really comfortable. It's just that transition off turnover when Leinster get the ball wide quickly. There's little holes open up on the outside channels. Once they get back and Leinster have to play 3 or 4 phases, the Blues physically look up to it.
Yeah, strip from Jared Evans that time, just takes the ball like candy from a baby off Joe Tamani and forces Tracy to, in his desperation, to try and win the ball back, concede a penalty.
I can see why Jordan Evans made the shortlist for Pro 14 Young Player of the Year last season. Nick Williams powering into the tackle. Evans again laying up from the left wing out to Harris again. Harris for the corner. Brilliant score for the Blues. This man is on fire. Jason Harris. John Melville said that he came in under the radar. Well, he's out in the wide open spaces now for all to see.
Yeah, that's the second try the Blues have scored from a set piece line out. First one was one phase, that was a second phase play. Nick Williams crashing it up in the middle, and then he used a blind wing coming off his wing to create an overlap on the outside, and Matthew Morgan fixes it and gives his winger a run into the corner. Great try.
Yeah, just the work of Owen Lane. He comes off his other wing there and just holds that defender. Just holds Matthew Morgan to say defender, gives Matthew Morgan a yard to get on the outside, and it's a great finish. But all the hard work's done on the inside. Just gets on the outside of O'Loughlin, forces McFadden to check on Owen Lane, and Dave Carney on the left can't do anything. He's got a 2-on-1, and it's a good finish again from Harris. But it's that work from Owen Lane, just that little pass to Matthew Morgan.
Well, that's exactly what Harris was brought in to do for the Cardiff Blues, and he couldn't have wished for a better start to his career at the Arms Park. From the near touchline, Evans strokes it sweetly between the posts, and the Cardiff Blues are out to 22 points to Leinster's 14, 6 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, the Blues deserve to be in the lead. They have looked brighter. You know, they've been the ones who probably put the most attacking play together. And now it's a case of Leinster, young side. How do they deal with this pressure?
Team are left. He really took his time on that, Jared Evans. Really gambled. It's one of those situations you can go for a long kick. Brilliant execution.
I can see the spring and the step of the Cardiff Blues now, buoyed by that second try.
To make things happen. Need more of that.
It's a free kick for England on this lovely pitch. It'll have 63 games on it this season. Newport County have played the one, and then Newport Rugby and the Dragons as well. It's going to be a free kick.
So many decoys, runners. Ball's going to hand. Good, strong run on the left from Owen Lynch. Stay in field. They got 6 or 7 Leinster men trying to take over the touchline, but then one hit up, and there's a composure from Jared Evans. They know they've got numbers on the outside. Can you execute and get the ball there? Good ball.
Osborne and Dave Carney. Morgan sometimes lives dangerously. It's safe enough.
Yeah, that's a win for Leinster. Matthew Morgan, unfortunately, let it ball bounce, and obviously on this AstroTurf we get away from it very quickly.
So a raft of substitutes coming on.
Boys, hang on, we're turning away to something.
That's young Ollie Robinson, the fearsome tackler for the Cardiff Blues last season. Not as much of a carrier perhaps as Nick Williams. Great camaraderie being shown. Very popular figure here at the Cardiff Arms Park is Nick Williams.
He's been a superb signing for the Blues. People question his age when the signing was made, but he is such an influence on and off the field. He's been a fantastic signing.
Belies his age, does Nick Williams. It's a whole front row change for Leinster. Brian Byrne, Ed Byrne and Andrew Porter are on. For Dooley, Tracy and Bent.
Floor first.
Blues again pressed into defence in their own 22. Advantage Leinster. That's a huge kick from Byrne. Might work out. Not quite.
Yeah, I think Nigel picked up Christian Deasy for not rolling away, and Ross Byrne just went to there pretty quickly, knowing he had advantage from the referee.
Wait, please.
It's a hit and hope, really. So 7 penalties conceded by both sides.
Yeah, we just see there, he just gets caught the wrong side, and Leinster pin him there. He's trying to get out, but Andrew Porter just came on a tight head prop, puts his body weight on him, and he's trapped.
Yeah, it's a big moment in the game. This is what Leinster would have wanted after this last Cardiff score. It's an opportunity. They need to score or get something.
You go that side and follow them in. I'll go touchline side, okay?
From the foray into the 22. Driving maul hasn't quite worked for them tonight. They've defended it really well, the Blues.
It all starts with the replacement hooker, Brian Byrne. Can he find his man? Yes, he does, down the front. That's Scott Fardy. And the Blues sack the first attempt at a drive, but it's still on though for Leinster here. Driving forward and getting the reward.
Yeah, that's called the commentator's curse. That is, the driving maul hasn't gone well for Leinster. That was absolutely superb, wasn't it? They withheld the initial drive from the Cardiff Blues. Looked like the Blues had them going towards the touchline, but they managed to stay compact. And as soon as the Blues split off, just the speed of that that maul. There was no stopping it once it got going.
It was just brilliant work how they all stayed connected. It was so easy to split off there, but they kept their patience. Guys at the front, everybody gets fixated with the guy carrying the ball at the back. There's some work in front of the ball. The big men are doing. You see Maloney there, Ruddock right at the spearhead. It's a brilliant try from Leinster from their pack.
Yeah, the problem was Josh Turnbull tried to sack it, and then let the Blues crept up the outside, and suddenly they'd got 4 guys on the ground, and Leinster still had six bodies intact, and then it was a really good score, technically really good drive from the forwards.
Well, Leinster not done yet. It was started by Brian Byrne, throwing into the line-out, and finished by the replacement hooker. Will it turn in? No, it won't. So the gap stays at 10 points. 14 minutes into the second half. It's Cardiff Blues 29. Now Leinster 19.
Yeah, it's game back on, isn't it? Desperate for that. Been blown away for 10 minutes. Some of the scintillating back play the Blues have had at the start of the second half. But that try brings Leinster right back into the mix.
Fresh legs, fresh impetus. And just in case you're doing a double take, well, number 16 and 17 for Leinster. Brian and Ed Byrne, not only are they brothers, they're twin brothers. So it's double trouble for Cardiff Blues. Morgan does well, exceptionally well, facing the touchline, keeps the ball in play. Surely it has to be a penalty for the Blues.
Off your feet.
Hip. Still advantage. Neat little chip though from Evans.
In front. No advantage.
I like to see that Matthew Morgan piece of skill again. For all money he's going into touch. How he stays in the field of play, incredible play.
You came in off your feet. You came in off your feet and then got up.
I mean, certainly a different player from Gareth Anscombe, isn't he?
Stay up.
He's a jackal in the box of a player.
In front.
That's the problem. If you target him in the air, you got to risk that if he catches it, he's going to come back at you, counter-attack. He's got great balance, great swerve, great feet, and you see he's got no space to work with there, but just brilliant.
It's just an awareness, to keep your eye on the ball, take the ball, and know where you are in the field of play as well.
So as Dimitri Arhip is receiving attention, Evans goes for the corner and finds good touch. 5 metres out.
Again, he just gives his pack a great boost of confidence, kicking that 5 metres out. And the Blues have looked, despite the last try, they have looked like they have the edge a little bit up front in the maul, and you'd expect them to take this down and try and drive it over.
Step off the line,
So Thomas Williams is on at the base of the scrum for the Cardiff Blues, in place of his namesake Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd Williams had a really solid game. Thomas Williams, for those people who haven't seen Thomas Williams, he has got a huge future ahead of him. Real jack in the box. Just when the game breaks up, he is electric in open field.
He made his Wales debut against South Africa back in June as a replacement, a game that you witnessed. And I know you're a big fan of Thomas Williams, Martin.
He's a tough little character as well. He's a top player, Thomas Williams. He's got a big future in the game.
Well, we saw Leinster a few minutes ago scoring from a similar position, but Leinster would appear to have this maul well covered. Seb Davis gathers for the Blues, spins on his heels, sets it up again. Williams digs deep. Dacey, he's gone through a mountain of work this evening as the Blues hooker. Rory Thornton this time. Evans has a quick look, nobody there back inside to take the return ball. Morgan again is up from fullback, out wide.
Away, Green, let it go, Green, let it go. Advantage over from the knock-on.
So the advantage is over.
Stay there then.
Evans, good angle though, well read by Tamani.
Backwards.
Didn't go forward, says Nigel Owens.
Away, Green, no hands.
Robinson has a go. Williams had a little look there. Lane. Foot and touch.
Yeah, it's a big win for Leinster when you think where that's come from a 5-metre line out for the Blues. Good defence from Leinster. They probably haven't got, without O'Brien, without Van der Fleer, without Dan Levy, they probably haven't got out-and-out jacklers like the Blues have, but really solid defensive line there.
And that's probably the first phase in attack that the Blues actually look a little bit tired.
Timeout.
They just lost their shape a little bit. Little passes weren't as accurate as they had been earlier in the game, and now it's just where you need your 9 and 10 just to control it, and just do the simple thing well under fatigue.
My view, you were making the attempt for the tackle, and why it's just a knock on.
Rory Thornton has taken a bump on the shoulder.
No, you were beginning, but then once you lost your feet, then let it go.
This little question there from Andrew Porter to the referee.
Ellis, it was just a knock on in the action of making the tackle down there, okay? By them. So it was an advantage.
Bruno's far more qualified to talk about this area than me, but you were a fresh
and control of the ball. Okay?
That's a line out, actually. Sorry, guys. The next scrum will be interesting. You've got a fresh front row on for Leinster.
Next stoppage now.
Against the tiring Blues front row. So, don't want to see too many scrums.
Yeah, there's only been 2 scrums in the game.
Yeah.
Snatched out of the air by Captain Rhys Ruddock for Leinster. But the Blues have turned it over. Quick ball now and through the hands, out it goes into midfield. Long pass, a little too ambitious perhaps on that occasion.
Yeah, I don't know how they stole that. It was Ellis Jenkins was in there again. Somehow ended up on the Blues side, and just like you say, like Bernard just touched upon earlier, maybe
Blues,
just a little bit of tiredness, a little bit of sloppiness coming in from the Blues back line.
1, 2 and 3. Blues 1, 2 and 3, please.
So Cardiff Blues take this opportunity to replace their front row. On comes Ethan Lewis at hooker, Rhys Gill and Scott Andrews on either side. Jenkins takes the hit. Williams somehow gets the ball away. Great pick up there from Jared Evans. Ball didn't go to hand though, and it's there for Andrew Porter. As you approach the hour, 29-19. That's the lead of the Cardiff Blues.
Away, Blue!
Into the Cardiff Blues half.
Yeah, Haller again, he's causing Rossburn problems. He's shooting out to the line, and Rossburn just catches him in the corner of his eye, forcing him back inside.
He telegraphed that well, didn't he?
Lost hands away, Blue!
Blues again quickly out of the blocks. Harris gets his man.
But defensively, the Blues will be happy with that, because he's got to throw the ball over the wing to go to a second row. He might make a few yards in terms of the gain line, but he's cut right beside the touchline, and you can pressurise that ruck or come hard off the line for the next phase. So I think that's a good defensive set for the Blues.
Yeah, Jason Harry's actually the wing at that time, makes the tackle, gets back to his feet. Just plays mayhem around that contact area, which the Blues really have done to Leinster tonight. They haven't allowed Luke McGrath keep ball. Here we go. Number 14, he's back to his feet. Just keeps fighting the contact. Luke McGrath will claim he's impeded in. You can't touch the scrum half, but he played to the line.
So midway through the second half.
Remember space, please.
2 experienced props coming on for the Blues with Rhys Gill and Scott Andrews. You're up against a young front row, obviously Byrne twins and Andrew Porter, very promising young players.
Crouch, bind, Set!
It's a solid Cardiff Blues scrum. Josh Turnbull has gone to 8 since the departure of Nick Williams. Versatile players. Josh Turnbull recalled into the Welsh setup during the summer. Testing kick from Thomas Williams. No problem for Adam Byrne.
Oi.
Won't go far. Evans kept his eyes on the ball. Goes to ground, turns, lays it back. May have been stolen though.
First man in, played the ball.
Great work of the breakdown by Leinster.
Move, Blue!
Scott Fardy. Tomani, little room perhaps to run, no. Chooses to offload to O'Loughlin. Little chip through, bobbling back into the hands. Tomani again.
Vantage Blue!
Taken down by Ray Lilo. The Blues get the advantage now, then a half chance perhaps for Matthew Morgan. Spots a huge gap. Now covered by Fergus McFadden. Well, nets again to the Cardiff Blues.
Yeah, I think once again, just really good attitude from the Blues. There's a turnover, they have a scrum advantage, but they don't look to kill the game. They look to try and get the ball to space, and Matthew Morgan sees a space down the middle of the field, a really good long kick, and the restart with a line out in the Leinster half.
Yeah, bags of experience coming on at scrum half now for Leinster, Gibson Park.
Move, move. Stay. Wait. Stand on the hook there. Don't move. Wait like at the back.
Well snapped up by Jameson Gibson Park, replacement at scrum half.
Lost now, Blue.
Loughlin getting no change whatsoever from the Cardiff Blues defence.
Hands away.
Looking for a gap there was Carney.
Lost now.
Leinster desperately needing a score. The Blues looking quite comfortable in defence, it has to be said.
Hands away,
not
Blue,
always been
it.
able to
Don't
say that
it.
in recent
Don't
times.
Right, you know,
No.
that was the big improvement last season defensively. Obviously, Bernard mentioned Richard Hodges, but you know, Sean Edwards' influences are huge, and they just become a much more stubborn, difficult side to beat now.
Number 4, stay there, good man.
Owen Lane had called for it, but he was well away from where the ball landed. Back on the Cardiff Blues side as Thomas Williams forces Ireland, the Leinster rather, to backtrack, and that's Gibson Park. It's a great pick.
As a forward, that's a breath of fresh air. It's been a frantic last 4 or 5 minutes. You've got a 10-point lead. That was brilliant play from Thomas Williams. Just relieves the pressure and puts all the pressure back on Leinster.
Yeah, I think the Blues don't need to play much in their own half now. Obviously, if it's really on, go for it, but just keep pinning Leinster back. Leinster are going to have to chase the game, and if Leinster are over ambitious, you know, Blues defence will pounce on that and they'll hit them on the turnover.
Once the ruck is formed,
Yes.
don't reach over.
It's from turnover ball from the high kick.
Once the ruck is formed,
This is beautifully
don't reach
weighted.
over. First man only.
I want to give the ball to Leinster, say, come on, you go 80 metres, you know, you've got to chase the game.
Time on.
Robinson offloads. Did the ball go forward?
Play on.
Play on, says referee Owens.
Play on.
Now then, where's the ball? It's
it's on if they go right.
Under a pile of bodies there
Hands
somewhere.
away, release.
Cardiff Blues pile in, but it's Leinster's ball. I'll safely say that the Burns have it. One of the twins
Hewson, please.
Gibson Park. Hoist the high one. Morgan has it well covered, or should have.
Number 14, you are looking at the runner coming and running into his line. You are watching him come in.
So Harris is the man penalised.
Number 14.
Looking for the man, says
Not
Nigel
the natural
Owens.
running line. You're watching where he's coming and running across him.
It's always a fine line. You're kick escorting there. You're trying to protect your fullback or your wing, and it's just if you change your angle or you make it too obvious, you get pinged like that.
Jason Harris. I'm saying he's arguing the toss with Ben Whitehouse.
Having a discussion.
It's a futile exercise, whichever way you look at it. That's a
Brilliant
great kick.
Absolutely
brilliant
kick from Ross Byrne.
So now do the Blues go up and contest here, or do they stay down, having conceded a try from a line-out maul?
Yeah, it's interesting, they're changing one of the second rows. They brought George Earl on and actually taking Ellis Jenkins off, who hasn't played any pre-season rugby. But just look at this kick, that is pinpoint. Gives Leinster perfect opportunity for another driving maul.
On the front again.
He was never down on the floor.
Never down on the floor, says Nigel Owens, who is waiting for advantage. Leinster, they don't want a shot at goal here. They want to try. They want a 7-pointer. White welcome. O'Loughlin hauled down in the shadow of the post. Gibson Park is through.
Advantage over.
And Leinster are right back in it.
That's class from that man there. He knew he had the penalty, the advantage. Brilliant kick in the midfield to find Rory O'Loughlin. And then that's the composure. Once that ruck is won, just a dart over the line. And now he makes a very, very nervous Cardiff Blue Stadium. Cardiff Arms Park has gone very quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's a real live wire scrum half. Anything around the fringes, if you don't lock in your pillar or your second defender, he'll exploit that. And particularly in a first game of the season when people are tired, his impact could be crucial for Leinster. The Blues really need to make sure they can refocus now and get back to the type of rugby they were playing for the first 60 minutes.
Yeah, we're saying it's a young team, but he has been around the block. Gibson Park, such a smart player. And Leinster are back in this.
So the conversion is good from Ross Byrne, and Leinster are back within 3 points. Now it should get interesting. It's interesting down at the Liberty Stadium too, where the Ospreys now lead by 17 points to 6. And listen to this, 2 George North tries. Back from Northampton. Eager, keen to make an impression, and that's certainly what he has done down at the Liberty Stadium.
Back Blue!
Safely gathered by Carney off his right peg. Lewis go in again and claim the penalty. Great work on George Earl on that occasion, it would appear.
On his feet over the ball.
No, I think it was Ollie Robinson who's come on, but again, it's that blitz defence. It just puts Ross Byrne in 2 minds whether to go wide, and that time hesitates, tucks it, goes himself. He's brought down early, and Ollie Robinson, who's been a fantastic signing, I must say, over the last 18 months, gets over the ball and wins the penalty, and that's a big penalty.
Well, top tackler in the PRO14 last season, there he is with the blue headgear.
It was on as well. I think it was on a phase before that as well to go right for Leinster. But it's just that hesitation from Byrne.
Upstairs cannot pass a message on to me, okay? You can't.
The Blues have executed that area so well. Jared Evans makes the tackle, gets him down early, which is key. And they've won that race tonight, the Blues. They've won the race over the ball, got lower quicker.
Robinson and Jenkins, 2 Ps from the same pod. Evans to give the Blues some breathing space again. 10 minutes of this pulsating game remaining. Slots it between the posts.
There's a pressure kick the way the game was just going away from the Blues a little bit. And, that's a real 3 points are going to just calm the team down.
12-point haul then for the Cardiff Blues outside half. Jared Evans.
I think you just heard Nigel Owens as well talking to his touch judges and his team. This is going down to the wire, so he's obviously got a feel for it out there.
Yeah, Leinster within the realms of a losing bonus at the moment. A converted try, we'll see them home.
I think Leo Cullen and Stuart Lancaster will be really happy with the spirit and the mental strength of their young team have shown, regardless of the result. Obviously, they can win it, they'll be delighted. But just the way they've come back, because the game was definitely going away from them.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. It's a tough place to come, Cardiff Arms Park, over the last 2 years. To come and win away from home, and a young team from Leinster could have easily whittled away, but really stood up in the last 10 minutes.
Gavin Smith is on for Willis Halaholo for the remaining 10 minutes. The headgear there in midfield for the Cardiff Blues.
Crouch.
Tremendous pressure on this young Leinster side. Bernard, the need to perform whilst the Stars are taking an extended period of rest. Of course, they don't want to be put under pressure later on in the season.
No,
we're going to.
It's going to be a reset scrum, but I think Leinster, by only signing one player, Joe Tamani, and losing 8 players, like Heaslip, Nasiwa, etc., they've shown a real confidence in this the young academy that is producing great players. But you know, this team here, you know, didn't fire at the end of last season. They lost to Hunt Treviso, got hammered in Connacht. So this is a big step up, and Leo Cullen will be really happy that when he uses these guys in the future, that they'll step up and play to the level he needs.
No surprise that he was nominated Coach of the Year in the PRO14 last season.
Set! Hold it there! Keep it up, hold it there! Stay blue!
And Evans puts boot to ball. Carney looking for the direct route, a weaving run from the Leinster fullback. Puts Leinster on the front foot. With just over 7 minutes remaining. 7 tries in this match. Cardiff Blues have a bonus point as it stands at the moment, as do the visitors. Tamani.
He's lost a lot of ball, Tamani, tonight in contact. He's been stripped quite a few times.
Another mistake from McFadden. Harris gives chase. Carney is back there. Good work by Harris. Morgan up from fullback. But Leinster have it covered. Good defensive effort, no panic.
Stay in.
Well, that's the Cardiff roar.
Go back.
Great take from Jared Evans. Well, Martin Williams, it falls upon you to choose your man of the match. You've got a few minutes. There have been quite a few. They'll put their hands up for nomination, certainly, and for that accolade.
Clear release, 18 on his feet.
Yeah, key tune-up from Porter there. Got their tails up, the Blues attacking in the 22, hoping to come away with something. Just a penalty to seal it, but
clear release.
Give Leinster
18 on his feet.
Maybe a last chance.
Not quite able to keep the ball in play. Good effort though.
Yeah, Ross Byrne really pushed that. You know, big moment in the game. It went in or out.
On the whitewash.
And Leo Cullen feels the same way as you, Martin. Tamani's been disappointing for a guy with his experience. Obviously, he's not going to know the systems as well as some of the other players, but just his big strength is carrying the ball into contact. And he has looked a little bit loose.
And he's a winger by trade as well, so I think he struggled defensively in that midfield with all the intricacies that the Blues have come. So he will get better. You know, he's learning the Leinster system, like Bernard said, and there'll definitely more to come from Tamani.
5 minutes to the final whistle, and here come Leinster. Carney to McFadden. Leinster looking for a try and a conversion which will clinch the win for them here.
Stay back.
Coming from behind. In midfield. Mick Carney wearing 19 of the blue headgear goes in to form the bridge there. Leinster have men out wide, but they take the short route, the narrow route. Byrne.
Lost now.
Ruddock this time. 5 metres out from the Cardiff Blues try line. A seminal moment in this match, possibly. As Leinster come again, driving forward, ever closer to that Cardiff Blues try line. This is the closest they've been in the second half since that Byrne try. Still, the Cardiff Blues defensive wall holds firm. As Leinster have another go.
Keep your feet, please.
Still short. 3 minutes remaining, 17 phases of play from Leinster.
It's good patience from both teams, good discipline from the Blues.
Look out for Gibson Park.
Hands away in there.
Mentioned earlier, when this is where Leinster are usually so efficient.
Yeah, they're incredible.
So difficult to get the ball off them in these areas.
Their body height and just their ability to go to the line together. It's a big defensive effort from the Blues.
And still, Leinster come 22 phases of play now. Against the base of the post will do.
Offside 10.
Gibson Park again looking for his second try.
Advantage 10 offside.
Advantage here for Leinster. Offside in midfield. They want more than 3 points.
Give them the try.
And they've had it.
He's correct. The
try has come against the base of the post.
No, it's touched the base. It's touched the base
well,
of the post.
Cardiff Blues going to be denied.
Number 10 offside.
It's that juggernaut, isn't it? That Leinster juggernaut. Once they get into the 22, they just squeeze the life out of you. It's pick and go, keep the ball, recycle. And that man Byrne knows the rules, knows the base of the post is a try.
Yeah, it's an incredible turnaround to this game because the Blues haven't done a huge amount wrong. But Leinster just really knuckled down and made the most of any opportunities they've had in the Blues 22. And I think if you're the Cardiff Blues now, you're talking about the restart. Can you kick it back and regain possession, have one more crack at it?
Well, a great effort.
I'll check the time now.
Just over a minute remaining,
Okay,
and Ross Byrne will take all the time at his disposal.
Yeah, I'm happy when I was standing. How much time left?
Between the posts it goes then, and Leinster steal a march on the Cardiff Blues. 33-32 with just over a minute remaining.
2 minutes of the kick-off,
The Cardiff Blues seem to have the game wrapped up midway through the second half, but Leinster showing great character.
Yeah, Byrne's such a turnout. They seem so comfortable. 15 minutes ago, the Blues in total control. Some Hollywood rugby they were playing, really. Some of the tries they scored, but huge credit to this young Leinster team. They dug deep and got themselves within a point in front with a minute to go. What a finish we've got.
He could look back to that minute before half-time, couldn't he, when Cardiff needed to put the ball away and they didn't, and they gave away a penalty.
Blues going to get one more chance.
Evans off his right foot, but the Blues are still inside their own half. Thomas Williams needs to hold on to possession. A minute to go. Turnbull whipped out into the hands of Matthew Morgan, a game winner on his day. Lilo, 2 tries to his name tonight. Good recycling. And the Blues come again. George Earl this time, strong, powerful ball carrier. Into the Leinster half. Morgan back inside to Owen Lane. Cardiff retain possession. Robinson to Thornton.
Rock!
Cardiff Blues players queuing up on the far side. This looks promising. Lilo steps off his left foot.
Look dangerous every time they've gone wide tonight, the Blues.
They certainly do. That should be it, I should think, for the Cardiff Blues.
It's advantage, rock on.
Yeah, Ross Byrne is just demanding they keep it in the ruck until Nigel says time up.
Well, is there time for the line out?
That's it.
There it is. Nigel Owens calls time. And those tries from Brian Byrne not only brought Leinster back into the game, but stole it right at the death.
Fantastic opening game of the season, it has to be said. You know, both sides wanted to throw the ball, but huge credit for Leinster. They seem dead and buried, but I think they bench Gibson Park, the front row, all made a huge impact when they came on. So,
and Nick Williams and Ellis Jenkins have been dominant when they were on the field, but obviously they didn't have enough time in their legs and took them off. And yeah, Cardiff Blues didn't do a huge amount wrong. Some really good performances from individuals in their team, and you know, it was a real high standard game, as Martin said.
So Martin,
5 minutes to go, it was Jared Evans. He had a superb game. Jason Harry's had a superb debut, but for me, Leinster side, Ross Byrne, lots of pressure without Johnny Sexton there, obviously, but I think he steered the ship well and used the calm head that brought him back into the game. So Ross Byrne's my Guinness PRO14 man of the match.
Controlling influence then of Leinster's young outside half, Ross Byrne, the understudy to squad captain Johnny Sexton, awarded the man of the match by Martin Williams, and he clinched the victory with a last second conversion. Cardiff Blues 32, Leinster 33.
What a scoreline. You know, I think that the quality of the attack in rugby we saw, given that the players are only coming into the first round and some of the boys haven't played a game, you know, if that's the type of quality we can have weekend out in the PRO14, we're all going to be treated to great spectacles.
Well, Leo Cullen asked questions of this young Leinster side, a shadow side of that which clinched the PRO14 final and the European Champions Cup, of course, but they can be very proud of what they've achieved here.
Yeah, massive win for that young team. Great character as well. I think that will please Leo Cullen as much as anything else.
Yeah, some people criticise the comp that Leinster and some of the Irish teams don't play full strength sides every week, but when you have that kind of quality, you know, you don't need to, and it's just producing more and more stars who are going to drive the level of the competition up to mean that we can have teams from our competition who can win a Challenge Cup and teams from our competition who can win a Champions Cup.
Rhys Ruddock, he was in the team that lost to the Cardiff Blues at the City of Cardiff Stadium back in February of 2011, the sole survivor of that losing side. But in the first match of the new season, he's led a young Leinster side to a victory here.
Yeah, had a big game for me, Rhys Ruddock, led by example, you know, carried well, drafted well. Maloney carried Fardy, some quality there.
Well, we can hear now then from the man of the match, Ross Byrne, who's with Lauren Jenkins.
Ross, as opening matches go, that was a pulsating game to watch. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, I think it was probably sums up the first game of the season. I think it was pretty frantic at times, and I think I made a lot of mistakes, but I think being 29-19 down away from home, place like Cardiff, it's very tough to come and win, and we're delighted to come away with a win there.
Much has been made about this being a second string Leinster team, but actually you showed that when it matters, right at the death, you can deliver.
Yeah, no, I don't think we don't talk about second string and first string. We have an incredible squad. I think last year we used over 50 players in the league, and we know again it's going to take something similar this year. So, no, we have an incredible squad. I think we saw that today, all across the board. I think even the subs that came on made a huge impact, and probably a bit of a game changer.
With Carberry now a Munster man, are you confident you can nail down a spot in this team and potentially look at international duties?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just taking it week by week, and getting a win here is the most important thing, and we've got another tough trip again next week away in Scarlet, so for me I'm just trying to get a win each week, and hopefully my form will get me there.
Congratulations on your Man of the Match award. Sam Harris is here to present you with your medal.
So then, an agonising last-minute defeat for the Cardiff Blues. They led that game for so long, but ultimately that inexperienced and young Leinster side came back to snatch that one at the death. So commiserations to the Cardiff Blues, congratulations to Leinster. They have begun their defence of the title with a victory away from home. Meanwhile, at the Liberty Stadium this evening, well, we saw earlier it was 3-3 at half-time, but as Wynne said in commentary, George North making a dramatic return to Wales, 2 tries on his competitive debut for the Ospreys, including this one, virtual length of the field, getting the ball in his own half and sprinting all the way to the try line, no one laying a finger on him, and that meant the Ospreys ultimately won 17-6. So a great start for Alan Clark's reign as 17-13, I do apologise. Great start to Alan Clark's reign after he was caretaker for the end of last season. And those are the results confirmation there for you. Zebra victors on the opening night as well, 32 points to 16 against the Southern Kings, and a full programme ahead for you tomorrow. Connacht against Glasgow Warriors kicks us off at 3 o'clock. Then it's Munster against the Toyota Cheetahs. The Cheetahs, of course, making the playoffs last year. Ulster welcome the Scarlets to the Kingspan Stadium. Scarlets losing finalists last year. And then we wrap up the weekend in style. At Rodney Parade will be there for Premier Sports 1 to see Bernard Jackman's Dragons take on Benetton. And this is where you can watch all those games tomorrow. As I mentioned, kicking us off at 3 o'clock is Connacht Glasgow. Coverage starts at 2:45. That's on Premier Sports 1. Ulster against Scarlets, also on Premier Sports 1. That's at the Kingspan, 5:15 kickoff. Then Munster versus the Cheetahs is on 2. And now we're back on Premier Sports 1 for Dragons against Benetton. A bumper day of rugby for you in the PRO14 tomorrow. We'll be analysing this match tonight in a little bit more depth. Join us after the break.